Yo, welcome to another video of Posting Up with the Parkers.
In today's video, we're going to be coming at you with our relationship story.
Boom.
Pretty much our love story.
Long time. 10 plus years? 11?
Going on 11 years.
We got some chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
See, 11 years of hard work. Hard work.
Good times too.
Definitely. And some bad times. But we're blessed.
Yeah,
for all of it.
So we're going to talk about pretty much like our whole relationship, but like summed up. Because if we really talked about 11 years of relationship, that would just be a long video. We don't want to put you guys through that. But we're thinking about doing like other videos on like the long distance we've been through, our engagement, living together, things like that. So this is just going to be kind of like a sum.
Yeah, we're going to put it all in a package and make it quick for you guys. Yeah. Some people have been wanting to know. Maybe people are going through long distance relationships right now. Maybe they're struggling. Mm-hmm. Maybe some high schoolers are watching this. We're high school sweethearts, so we might be able to relate somewhere. If we can help somebody somewhere with our story, then that'd be great. It'd be a blessing.
Yeah, so we're just going to go through like the different points or big turns in our relationship, and we'll start out with how we met and where. Mm-hmm. So we first met in 2009 at Valley Christian High School, where we went to high school, and we met through a mutual friend, I guess.
Yeah, my best friend, my brother now, his sister was close.
Yeah, I hooped with her.
And then me and him hooped together. So the first time I saw her was in the quad. This was like maybe like the second week of school. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is like the first few weeks of school. Mm-hmm. I was a junior at the time. Mm-hmm. She was a freshman, surprisingly. Whatever. Right. I didn't even know she was a freshman at the time. I told my boy because he knew that his sister played basketball with her.
We had played basketball throughout the summer together before school started. So like I seen his friend around, and because obviously he goes to his sister's games with me and stuff like that. So
yeah. So I was like, yo, you gotta try to connect it, link the two. Got the connection. Got the number, and it was pretty much a wrap from there in high school.
It's funny because we talked over like a 3-day weekend, and we talked like the entire weekend, and then came to school that
Acting
Tuesday.
Like we know each other.
Right.
Acting like we really knew each other.
It was funny because we were even matching. Like we had the same like plaid, like purple, black. Yeah. This like purple black shirt on with black pants. We were matching to the T. I don't think we planned it. I think it just happened.
Corny. You know, in high school we used to plan those things like that. Yeah. Like try to dress like your girlfriend. That's so corny.
Right. But yeah, it just happened, and then the rest is history. We've been together. Well, we did have a break, and we'll go over that. But ever since then, we've been together solid.
Guys, tell me if this is weird. So we talked for those 3 days over the weekend, and then Monday we seriously out of school.
Tuesday. It was
Tuesday, and then we kissed the first day. That was a little weird. It
was not weird.
I didn't know you.
I didn't know you either, but it was a good kiss.
I mean, it's just random.
It's not that weird.
Whatever.
Okay, so that's how we met. And in high school, we were together his whole junior year, his whole senior year, and then like a little bit in college. We broke up like when he started to go to college, so like halfway through my junior year. And then we kind of like still dated here and there.
See, these are when the stories get mixed up. She thinks that there was still, we were still kind of like dating when we weren't.
Yes, we were. Y'all, okay, we would like, so after we broke up, we didn't talk for a little bit, and then we still kind of like went out every now and then we stopped talking like for a while, for like not almost a year, like maybe like 6 months. And then we would like go on a couple days.
We went like 2 years without talking.
And not yet, that's after this.
Okay.
So then we would go to like, we would just go out to eat all the time.
She was,
like, hold
let's
hands
be honest, she was like, using me. That's what it was.
And he would bring me food after work, after he got off work, because he used to work at
cold.
BJ's.
You were using me.
So we would like hang out every now and then. We were like still dating. I mean, I was like seeing you were seeing somebody else too, right?
No, we weren't dating.
Oh.
We were not dating. We were not dating at all. Like, I wanted to make things work with her. Yeah. She wasn't having it. I don't know what her problem was.
Me neither.
We were not dating. She was just playing with me. She was just running my emotions around the track. That's
okay, I must admit, like I was not cool back then. I was pretty shady to him, and I feel really bad about it now. But like, okay, looking back at like us breaking up that time, so after those times we would like go out or hang out or whatever, then there was like a whole year and a half that we didn't talk at all. Like,
we went 2 years at least, didn't hear just not one peep.
Okay, it was not 2 years. It was a little bit less.
In my story, we didn't talk for 2 years. No social media, no thinking, none of that.
Yeah, that's true. Not 2 years though, y'all. Johnny's perspective and his timeline,
2011.
His memories are terrible.
2011.
No,
we break up.
2012 we broke up.
2011, 12.
It was 2012. It was the end of 2012.
11, 12. We break up. Okay.
I mean, the beginning of 2012. Beginning of 2012.
Okay, I go to college. You're still in high school. We're done. I come back for basketball, winter break or something. We're trying to. It is, we're figuring it out. Whatever. It's nothing there. This goes on for like a year, and then I'm over, and I snap, and I just cut it off. And then that is when we don't talk for like at least 2 years.
It wasn't 2 years, baby. I'm telling you.
Moving this to 2013, 2014.
Y'all, I had timestamps. It was not 2 years.
Moving this to 2013, 2014. We're still done. We didn't reconnect till 2016.
2015.
16.
It's 15.
15. Okay. So, first part of the story is done. High school, games being played.
Let me sum it up. Okay, 2009 to beginning of 2012 is when we were together.
Boom.
Then we broke up.
Yep.
We would date for a little bit here and there. Not really. Okay, we'll go out, hang out, whatever the hell he wants to call it.
Okay.
That was until 2013, and then we didn't talk until 2015. But like I'm telling you, like it wasn't the full 2 years. But yeah, 2015 is when we reconnected again.
So all childish. I mean, it was just childish.
It was.
But, it was still high school stuff.
Definitely. But you guys, those couple years, we needed that apart.
Oh yeah.
I honestly,
definitely God had it in the works. It wasn't our time.
Yeah, everything happens for a reason, and we kept trying to force it, but it just wasn't happening. And I think today, even though I look back on it, I'm like, damn, that really sucks. But I did a lot of growing through that time, and probably Jonny too, I'd like to say. But yeah, everything happens for a reason. And my mom always told me, hey, let him go. If it's really meant to be, it'll come back around. And that's totally what happened. Absolutely. I had to just cut all ties, be done, as much as it hurt. But now we're better for it, for sure. Yeah,
and the relationships between, I think we both can say we were in toxic relationships.
Toxic.
Very toxic relationships.
Definitely not godly.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Childish,
I think all the stuff was just for a purpose. If we would have forced that and stayed together, we definitely probably wouldn't have been married. No. We needed that. We needed that. It's just releasing.
Right.
If the person is meant to be in your life, God will put that person back into your life. Now, moving to part 2, where the juiciness is involved.
Yes. Going to when we got back together after that time we spent apart. That was in 2015. I reached out to him. I don't know why. I really don't know why, because y'all, when we broke up, or not even broke up, when we stopped talking for a while and we saw each other one time, in that 2 years or year and a half, I was disgusted with him. I was like, ugh, how could I have ever dated him? I was not feeling it. So I honestly have no idea why I reached out to him, but I was just
disgusted with him, but she still had my clothes in her closet. For how many years? You kept all my stuff still?
I really did. I kept all his clothes.
You weren't that
disgusting. It was not because of him, though. He gave me some good clothes. He gave me some good sweats, some good shirts. Yes, it was. I used to love his clothes.
Men know whatever it is.
Anyways, yeah, so I reached out to him through Twitter. And I was like, hey, how you doing? I was just like, hey, I just asked him, how you doing? Are you, how you been? And
random, too.
Yeah, it was super
just so random.
And then he replied. And I was super surprised that he replied. I really didn't think he was going to reply, because I thought he was in a relationship at the time, which I think he was in the outs of it. And then he replied, and so I was like, yo, okay, cool. And then I just passed him my number, because my number had changed at that time. And I passed him my number. And then all of a sudden, my messages were deleted. It was so weird. And then I was like, okay. And then I was blocked. And I was like, okay. I was so irritated. I was so mad. I was like, okay, that's not cool. Because, we're each other's first loves. And, I don't know. We always come back together. No matter what. After every relationship or whatever, we always came back together and, checked on each other. And so I was just frustrated. So then I went on Facebook. Then I went on Facebook and I messaged him this long message. And I was like, how could you do this to me? I was so mad. I was like, hit me back. I don't want nothing. I just want to see how you're doing.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't even know why I cared so much. For real. He was still irritating me.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, so I come back home. We had a quick basketball break before we went to a tournament. I come back home and I opened that. So Twitter, so that happened for a while. She messaged me on Twitter. We hit her back. whatever happened in the middle.
Yeah, and it was like a significant time period.
Yeah, fast forward Christmas break, December, whatever it was, right? I open up Facebook, and I see a message from her, and I'm like, whoa, all right. So I read it, whatever. I hit her. Did I text you or did I hit you on Facebook?
You hit me on Facebook first.
Yeah, we were talking or whatever. I text her. We start, I hit her up, and then she's like, no, did I propose it? I was like, why don't you just come by?
I forgot. I don't remember.
So whatever, something happens where.
Yeah, I think he just invited me over. He's like, come by.
Yeah, she was at work. She works like 10 minutes away from my grandma's.
Not even, like literally walking distance.
Yep. And this is the funny part. I go to the car. Gosh. I haven't seen her in years. Right? Whatever. Happy. I'm not really expecting anything. It is what it is.
Yeah, same.
And she's like, yo, I really got to go to the bathroom. And I'm
like, I really did.
She's like, I really got to go to the bathroom. I'm like, all right, just come in and let's go to the bathroom. Whatever. My mom's not going to care. She's like, no, why don't you just come back to my place? And I'm over here thinking, what is she trying to do?
Okay, you guys, I had just gotten off a shift. Mind you, this was back when I was in college. I was a lifeguard, and I was the lead lifeguard, so I wasn't allowed to take, like, no breaks or nothing. We had to close up. I couldn't go to the bathroom. I was like, all right, I'm just going to go over there. I'm going to say hi really quick. We'll probably see each other another time.
You're telling them all this for...
And then I get there, and so then we start talking even longer. We were talking for, like, an hour. And I was like, okay, I really had to go to the bathroom then. Y'all, his whole family knows me, and we did not end like on a great note. So if I was like, hey, let me roll through your house and go to the bathroom really quick, it's gonna look weird. So then I was like, I'm gonna go home, but then like I didn't want to stop hanging out with him, so I was like, you want to just come with me? Like, it's fine. Like, and you know what, low key, I want to show off my place because I lived on my own at the time, so I just kind of wanted to.
She takes me back to her place, random, whatever. We're having a good conversation. We're talking. We get there. She's showing off, shows me her room. Yo, I got an Xbox. I play this. I got the Wii. She thinks she's hard. Like she got all these systems.
A big old TV. I was hella cool, y'all.
And the chemistry was funny. The chemistry was there, right? It wasn't. We weren't looking for anything because I was still, in a childish way, holding stuff against her.
And I was not feeling him. I literally was just platonic at that time. He doesn't believe it, but it's true.
And so the conversations were great. We literally talked all night. I ended up staying the night. We literally, and you guys, you're not supposed to. We just had a Christian video and you know all that stuff. That's fine. Whatever, you guys can judge if you want.
Yeah.
I literally sat there. I didn't touch you. I didn't kiss you. I didn't do anything. Nothing. We just fell asleep.
Just fell asleep talking and watching TV.
Fast forward, that happened.
That happened
three nights in a row. So she would go to work. I would go home because I was on break. I wasn't doing nothing. We would just hang out every single day. And I feel like chemistry just kept growing. So I feel like now that I look at it, this is God, right?
I still wasn't feeling him. I really was.
She was just hanging out with me all day.
I was. I mean, it was cool. Like,
just playing
obviously, I love him. Like, he's my first love, and I always will love him. But I wasn't at that time. I was just like, yeah, like it's cool. Like I was just doing my own thing, and yeah,
whatever. So this happens 3 nights in a row. This has never happened before. I can actually just sit there and we're talking and we're having such a great time. You know, we're just reminiscing and everything. The third day, she's driving me back home. I kiss her on her cheek.
It was the fourth day because it was after our third night. Yeah.
Yep. I didn't even want to. It kind of just happened. I ended up kissing her on your cheek. And you're like, wow. Boom. She kissed me. Boom. All right. We're good. Right. And from there, we're kind of like, yo, what's
like, what are we doing?
What's the move? Like, what are we doing?
And then from there, it was hard because like I had taken a family trip. And I was gone for like 2 days. It wasn't that long. It was just a weekend. But Jonny, like, he was hella missing me. And low-key, I was actually starting to...
What you mean Jonny was hella missing you and you were low-key?
Anyways, I come back from my trip. And Jonny and I spend like our last day together before he has to go back to school. Because he hooped in college. So he had a tournament that he had to go back early. Like, usually you can go back later. But it was like the day of... It was like the day after New Year's, I believe.
SoCal.
Yeah, he has to go back to SoCal. And I was in San Jose. So then we were like just kicking it, and I was actually getting sad that he was gonna leave, and I didn't know when I was gonna see him again. And so that's when like the long distance started. That's when he was like, okay, we'll be my girl, like we'll get through this, whatever. So that's when we got back together, and then yeah, he left, and it was hard. It was really hard.
Yeah. So, part 3. We are doing the long distance. And I'm sure if any of you guys have done long distance, especially as an athlete, men or female, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It is very, very time. So she was going to school as well. She was a full-time student. She was working.
Yeah, and I had 3 jobs at the time.
And then I was playing basketball, which is a job within itself.
Right.
It was definitely the hardest time of our relationship. We did that for how many years?
A year, and then we did 2 years. I was in SAC, so 3 years total.
And it was hard.
It was really
majority, 98% of our arguments was definitely based off us not seeing each other. So anything would spark. I'm coming home from practice. I'm texting her saying, "Hey, we're talking," and it just automatic, just boom.
Yeah.
And then we're going back and forth, and it sucked. To say the least. Like, we had very good strides.
Yeah, definitely.
But the long distance, that
was hard.
Very, very hard.
We fought at all the time. We fought almost every single day. The only times we didn't fight was when, like, I would go visit him or he'd come visit me. But then things got even harder because I moved from San Jose to Sacramento, and then Jonny was still in SoCal. So it was about like 6 or 7 or 8 hours or something like that drive. And I would always like drive out there to go see him, and that time it was only like 5-ish hours, maybe 5 or 6 at the most. So it wasn't like too bad, but then adding on those like 2 extra hours, like, yeah, it was hard.
I 100% appreciated her for that. I think if long distance, and unfortunately I couldn't, and she took the reins on.
Well, it was easier for me because I wasn't working anymore when I moved to SAC. I was only going to school, and I had a car, and Jonny was still hooping, so like it's not like he could, go out and skip practice or whatever. I
didn't have a car at the moment either back then, so I was kind of, when I took the bus. But I 100% appreciate and cherish you for that. She was driving 6 to 7 hours. I think she did that a couple times back to back, but at least it was like once a month. Yeah. Sometimes I think the longest we went was like 3 months maybe without seeing each other. But yeah, she was a trooper.
Yeah, it was really hard.
Yeah, she did not have to do that.
Yeah, so we did that for another 2 years. So in total, we did 3 years of long distance. And it was probably like some of the hardest things that we've done in our relationship. Absolutely. And that's when we did a lot of growth too, because we got into a lot of fights. I would break up with Jonny all the time because I just thought like I couldn't do it, and he was the one who kept us together. So thanks, baby. He kept us together. But yeah, like he kept the faith, and he kept us on track, just praying, make sure like we're good.
Yeah, I think I would say that was the Holy Spirit. That was God talking to me inside, because there was a lot of times, I did just want to, it was too tough. But I think there was our paths and our jobs weren't done yet.
Yeah.
They're still obviously not done yet.
Right.
I think that was all God to put that inside of me, especially as, all men have pride and, so many things like that. That whole wall just had to come down completely, regardless of how I felt. Yeah. So.
Yeah, through all of our fights, Jonny was the one to bring us back together. Even if it was my fault, like he would be the one to like swallow it all and just take it on himself. And we survived because of that. Like if he didn't do that, I would have been done for sure, 100%. But like he said, like that's the Holy Spirit moving through our relationship. Because without God having Jonny leaned on him, no way would we have made it, for sure. And honestly, now that we've gone through the long distance, I don't think there's anything that we can't do, for sure. Yeah,
I would say that was the storm. So we're gonna move to part 4. But that was a storm, so I'm sure you guys know everybody is going to go through adversity. Every single relationship is going to go through adversity. So I think that whole 2 years was our storm. 3 years, that was our storm, and that was our adversity. And then there's always a blessing on the other side of that adversity if you push through. So our blessing was part 4. So I graduate, and I get to go back home. And the plan was for me to go pro. I wanted to go play overseas, but God had different dealings with me.
He definitely could have, though, y'all. Probably still could.
Thank you. God had a different plan for me. So I go back home, and I'm close to her. She's still in SAC going to school, so I move in with one of my brothers in San Jose. And it's definitely a lot easier. We get to spend a lot more time with each other. Yeah. I'm going down there. She gets to come down here. So things are really good in our relationship right now.
And not only that, I was only going to school 2 days out of the week, or 3 days maybe. Because this is my last semester of my undergraduate. So those last like 4 days of the week, I would drive down to San Jose because that's where my parents live anyway. And I would see them, and then I would hang out with Jonny and all that. So we got to spend that time together. And I did that every single week for a whole semester. But I also got a job too. So then like I would work like Thursday and Friday, and then see him and stay with him and things like that.
into bring up your parents, to rewind back to part 2, part 1 of those parts, it also shows how God was involved, that our family, there was no hostility really. Well, her parents always loved me.
They did. Mom, every single relationship I've been in after Johnny, they always compared it to him.
My mom, I had love for her, but she was just like any other mom. You got hurt, blah, 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 whatever. But that got thrown out the window quick. They always showed love for us in every single part of this relationship. So right now where we're at in part 4, I come back. Everything is good. Fast forward, she graduates. She moves back home. So now we're trying to figure out, what's next. Should we get our own place? Something we've been talking about for years.
For years, so long.
That gave us so much faith in college. We were just like, soon we're gonna have our own place.
We're gonna be together, married.
We're still talking. We're talking about marriage in a way. I don't know how I'm gonna do it because I'm a broke college student, but that was the plan. I didn't get back with her to just kind of play around. I was focused, but I've always had the mindset of I'm not gonna. Besides the childish relationship, with her, I knew if we were gonna get back together, that Christmas break, this is going to be something serious.
Like, and I said the same thing to myself. The next person or the next man that I'm going to get back with is going to be, my future husband. I'm not going to waste my time anymore in any other relationships or anything like that. And just so happened to be Johnny. And of course it was meant to be. Absolutely.
So we're maturing. Everything is going good. We get our own place. We can find a church together because it was taking us a while to find a church as well. We're really locking in. Let's make sure we find a church. We were bouncing around. We found one, Redemption.
And before we found Redemption, we were just watching church services online together, like on FaceTime, since we weren't like physically together. And we would watch Pastor Furtick at Elevation Church. And then when we moved to San Jose, we were really like struggling on we knew we wanted to live together, but we didn't know if it was if it was correct or if that was what we needed to do, if that was the right thing for us to do. And we struggled with that for a little while, but then we finally, we found Redemption, then we moved in together, and we knew that we could do it. And when I say do it, I mean live together without having sex. And we knew we could do it, but we knew it was going to be hard. So we wanted to make sure that we planted ourselves in the right church, surrounded ourselves with the right people and things like that. And so we kind of wanted to touch on this only because some people out there really think okay, you can't live together before you're married. That's not true. I mean, maybe it is true for some people. Maybe some people really can't live together without having sex, but you can. Nowhere in the Bible does it say you can't live together before you're married. It just says don't have sex before marriage. And so also going to being lustful towards each other and things like that, we really minimize all of those things. Even though we were living together, we were really trying to take all the precautions that we could. Did we slip up? Yes, we did. And so I'm not going to lie about that. We did slip up a couple times, but through those times is actually where we got stronger. And I'm not saying go live with your significant other before you're married. I'm not saying that's not for everybody. Literally, it's really not. You have to be staying in your word, be prayerful. You need to have the right people around you, because the times that we slipped up was the times where we drank when we're not even really drinkers. We would just go out and we would have a couple drinks and then we would slip up, or we were around other people who they would talk about certain things with their significant others, and it made us think about those things.
So just weren't staying strong in the word and in prayer. And so this is part 6. Sorry, that's all this stuff right here. We decide we're in church. We want to get married. I'm in the back of my mind now. We lived together for a year. I'm in the back of my mind.
We lived together for a year and a half.
Yeah. So she's throwing hints at marriage. She's
crazy,
throwing hints
let's go. What are we waiting for?
We're playing house, whatever. She's throwing hints. I'm talking to my family, and so things are playing in the back of my mind. I have a good job right now. I start deciding, okay, I'm gonna start putting away money for a ring. While we're doing that, we decide, since we're in a church, let's get premarital counseling.
You already bought the ring by then, didn't you? You bought it in October, or no? You told them in October.
I was saving up for it. I was preparing for
this. But you told your family and my family in October, right?
Yeah. So I go through the whole phase of I'm saving money. We're in a premarital class, and I'm already talking to our parents. I'll talk to my parents. So all that stuff's good. The main thing was, let's get our relationship and our foundation with God together.
Exactly.
So I would say if you're really serious, you guys are locked in on a church premarital counseling is so clutch.
Yeah. We went, so our premarital, it wasn't counseling, it was just a premarriage class.
Yeah, premarriage class. Sorry.
But for the premarriage like class, you don't need to like be engaged or anything. It's, if you're even thinking about like being with your person, your significant other for a long time, you definitely want to take it. So we took that class, and then we got married. And then we got engaged a month after. We ended in November.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so I already had a plan to propose right after.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure you guys have already seen the ring.
Yes. And then then that leads to our engagement, which we got engaged in December of 2018. And then we got married in September 2019. So we had like a 9-month engagement.
Oh.
Yeah. So we had a 9-month engagement. And then during that time we're still living with each other, and then we moved out and moved in with my parents. So that, like, the whole engagement was a part in itself too, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. They gave us they blessed us with an opportunity to be able to save up.
To buy a house and
family. And to finish paying the wedding off.
Yeah. We paid for the wedding.
Yep. So we're still here, and the goal is we are at the end of the year, we're gonna buy a house.
Definitely.
Our first house.
Yeah. But going back to like the engagement was good. I feel like we did a lot of growing in our engagement too.
Definitely. It was the premarital counsel classes for me helped me level up in the whole relationship, learning to be how to be a man of God. To better myself as a man of God, I should say. But not just a man of God, but being a man in the relationship, being a man of God in the household. Yeah. Like how I'm going to run my household, how I'm going to be the husband for my wife. You know, it was me learning a lot, and really God working me out with so many things, that this is the woman I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. She's the woman I'm going to have kids with. Yeah. You know, this is serious. You know, so those classes definitely helped me and reshape my mind and prepared me for so much that was going to happen to where we're at now.
Yeah, and I definitely think those classes also helped us like
find each other out more too.
Yeah. And it made
to learn more about each other.
Definitely.
Deep in a deeper spiritual.
Yeah, and it helped me see like the kind of wife I want to be, or the wife I should be. So then after that, like a lot of time people also say like in your engagement time, like it like really tells you what your marriage will be like. And I think our engagement was smooth. Like Jonny jokes about like how I was stressed out and like how I didn't want to be with him. Not be with him, but like I was annoyed like physically like being with him, but it wasn't like that. Like I was stressed out because I was doing all the decorations, and I planned my entire wedding, so obviously it's going to be stressful, but it really was fine. Like I think it turned out perfect. Our engagement was nice, it was smooth. I still wanted to be with him and marry him at the end of every single day. And then our wedding day came, and it was amazing. And then after we got married, we went on our honeymoon, and then when we came back from our honeymoon, we took a marriage enrichment class at our church.
That was just like to tighten up the wheels on everything. Yeah. You know, to put tools in the toolbox before anything happens. Right. You know, so just prep.
Yeah, so that you can use those tools.
Yeah, all those weapons.
Needed.
So it was just prep. You know, a lot of just oil in the machine. Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, and honestly, that class, we were the youngest couple. Obviously, we had only been married at that point for like a month, but most of the couples in that class were like super seasoned. Like they've been together for at least 5 years. I think we have another couple friends, shout out to you, Linz and Ant, who they were only married for like a year and a half. So like we really connected with them, and we still do. Love you guys, miss you guys. But then everybody else, like they were all super like older, and so like it was kind of hard for us to connect, only because we just got into a marriage. But even though that class kind of targeted like older marriages who are like kind of struggling or whatever, I think it was good for us to kind of just build that foundation, as Jonny was saying earlier, and just continue building on it, and you know, equipped us with those tools that we need in case, you know, whatever happens in the future, because things are going to happen, things are going to pop up. So it was good. It was good.
Yeah, it definitely pushes to our marriage. And it pushes to where we're at now, which is the future in mind. You know, always there's so many things we want to accomplish, but we want to make sure they're aligned with God. So the home and the location, you know, where does God want us to be? Starting a family, you know, when to start. So that's where we're at now. So in the live moment, you know, we're looking at just building our future together. You know, home, kids. Yeah.
And we're on track to buy our home when we want to buy our home. The kids, we're not really trying to have kids right now, but like if it happens, then that's just God's willing. We're just kind of, you know, going down with whatever God wants us to do and down that path that he has for us. We're really just trying to stay prayerful. And that's probably the key that I would say to having like a successful relationship. I think every single time that Jonny and I have struggled and we've come out of something and we've grown from something is because we prayed together and we really just stuck together. We fought for each other. And I didn't see that for the longest time. I really didn't. I would just give up so quickly. Jonny was the one, like I said, who fought for us for a really long time. But once I finally found like, okay, I can't just give up, and I started fighting for our relationship, that's when things really took a huge turn. And that's when like our growth skyrocketed. That's when our relationship, you know, became really steady and we were happy. As many of the trials and tribulations we've had, it was all worth it. We just fight.
Yep. Now we're living in victory, it seems. So
Definitely. Only better things to come. Yeah, hard times will probably come, but we're going to fight them with all the tools that we got, and nobody can stand against us because God is with us.
Yep. So lastly, to leave you guys with, if you're in a relationship and your high school sweetheart, or it's you guys have been together for years and years and you really do think that this is the one, him or her, push. You have to push. You have to fight through. You have to pray. You have to do what you have to do. Don't make any excuses as a man or a woman. If that's the person you want to be with, then you
find a way.
Yeah, you find a way. You find a way. You know, appropriately.
Yes.
Find a way.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, if it's meant to be, it will happen.
Absolutely.
You know, no matter what, regardless of what you guys are going through, the long distance, the difficulties, the arguments, if it is meant to be and it is God's path, it is going to happen.
Yeah. Just think about it. Like, everything is already planned out. Everything that God has in store for you is already done in the future. So if you think about it that way, like, yeah, it's really, really hard in this moment, but you're going to get through it because that's what God wills you to do. So you're going to get through it. Just keep steady, keep fighting. You guys got it.
As always, thank you for tuning in, and thank you for posting up with the Parkers.
Woo! Almost got it that time.
No, I still got it.
Alright, you guys, if you have any prayer requests, leave them down below, or you can email us. And if there's anything you guys want to talk about or anything you want us to talk about in our relationship, as we can go deeper in our long distance, we can go deeper in our engagement, deeper in our living together before marriage, whatever it is, just let us know and we'll be happy to make a video for you guys. Alright, you guys have a great day. Be blessed.
Okay, ready? Hey.
Okay, let's go. I really wasn't
Keep
missing
going.
that
I
much.
don't care what you think. Keep going. Keep going.